But let's just listen to this video. Are we going to have a little discussion on it?
We
Just
have had a
listen.
situation where this administration came to public life, telling the people of this country that they were going to introduce integrity legislation. Y'all remember that? That they were going to hold themselves accountable to the people of this country. That they were going to stamp out corruption in high places.
I want you to hold on to this statement. It's going to be really important throughout this video. Remember what she's saying, personal accountability and the stomping out of corruption from the highest levels of government.
Time comes because the Barbados Labour Party has come out front and we have brought a draft integrity legislation bill. We are not waiting till we get to Parliament to hold our members to account or to let you then have to talk with us to talk about whether we are putting corruption legislation in place. We have taken it on ourselves to ensure that we are going to be held accountable to the people of this country.
This was at the time, member of the House of Assembly, Sania Bradshaw on March 5, 2018 at Montgomery Pasture St. Michael, one of her campaign rallies. Without a hint of irony, in all of her righteous indignation, she stands before you today as the Deputy Prime Minister who vaingloriously declared the Barbados Labour Party is taking the charge against corruption with the Integrity in Public Life Act. I'm here to tell you, to this day, 5 years on from this very campaign rally, it is not proclaimed. It still cannot be used to hold those in positions of power accountable despite the fact that it has passed both the House and Senate. So we're asking as concerned members of the public, Deputy Prime Minister, what's the hold up? In a 30-0 majority within Parliament, what excuse does she have? What can she affirm to you is the reason for this, other than personal interest?
And that is the situation that we find ourselves in this country today, where people are asking legitimate questions about whether there is one rule for people in high places and people in low places. And that madness has to stop in this country. And the Barbados Labour Party has given you the assurance that we will be governed as members of an administration to stamp out corruption in high places. And if a couple people got to get locked up for doing things that they did before, then they got to get locked up.
So why aren't you getting punished or locked up, Deputy Prime Minister? Where's the check? I told you that personal accountability would be important. As reported by the press and confirmed through the judicial system, the Deputy Prime Minister was found in possession of a check addressed to her personally on behalf of Errol Clark Associates valued at $7,500 Barbados dollars. Should you not know who that is? Errol Clark Associates is a consultant engineering firm, the one in charge of the repairs in Whitehall. In fact, I'll provide a photo of the same Errol Clark sitting next to technical officers dispatched to discuss with residents of the area. The Deputy Prime Minister is also the Minister of Transport, Works, and Water Resources. In other words, it's the agency in charge of seeing those repairs done. The Deputy Prime Minister also claims this is something she had consistently done even before she had been a member of Parliament as a means to provide for her constituency during Christmas. Now this is where it gets ironic. By virtue of the legislation passed by the Barbados Labour Party, the fact that she did not disclose this information, nor did she deliver this gift, or as she says, donation, to the Minister of Finance is in violation of the legislation she spearheaded. Furtherly, she claimed it was not a personal check. If it was not, by the legislation she had spearheaded, she would have to deliver it to the Minister of Finance, something she had not done, and something she had not expressed the intent to do. But she could have never reported it to a commission for them to determine if it was personal or not, because the legislation is not proclaimed, therefore it did not exist. In other words, she could not be held accountable, nor could she face consequences for breaking the public's trust because of a technicality. But here she had been, telling us tales, haikus to personal accountability, integrity, ethics, and justice regardless of standing, without any intention of following those same standards. Will the people of Barbados now take a stand against corruption and favoritism?
We need to send a very, very strong message to our Deputy Prime Minister of Barbados. And we need to let her know we're taking your advice. In this clip, you said that this madness has to stop. The madness where there is one set of rules for one set of people, one set of laws, and then there's another set of laws for another set of people. You said that this madness has to stop. You said that it's within reason that Barbadians should ask questions. That's what you said. And we are saying to our Deputy Prime Minister, this madness has to stop. Who is saying this? The people of Barbados, the true opposition of Barbados, the people of Barbados. We are taking a stand against corruption. And, Deputy Prime Minister, we are doing the same thing that you did years before. This bill was passed in the upper and lower chambers, in both in the Parliament and in the Senate. And the question, Deputy Prime Minister, this is so much of your baby. This is your baby. This legislation is your baby. The question we want to know from you, can you tell the people of Barbados why this bill has not been proclaimed? Why would this, something that you promised way before, 7 years ago, you promised this to us, the people of Barbados?
I saw the video earlier playing and I heard some of the comments, but I just don't want us to get lost in the debate, right, about what is the correct legislation to prosecute the Santia Bradshaw on. So I saw people were speaking about the integrity legislation, right? And it not being proclaimed. But as Caswell said on the show, you already have legislation in place to deal with that, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a confessed bribe. She confessed to bribery. She confessed that she received bribes, right? The person paying bribes as well, he confessed to paying those bribes. So you have a clear case of corruption on your hands. It's bribery, right? The company receives contracts from the government. She's the minister in charge of giving out the contracts, right? So you cannot receive gifts. You cannot be receiving monies to your personal account. As you're not your minister, as long as you're a minister, you're supposed to give up your employment. She's not supposed to be an attorney, right? You are no longer, or your name is no longer yours. Your name now belongs to the state. So if it is that he was paying the money to a charity, the name of the charity should have been on the check, right? If he was paying money to the constituency, the St. Michael Southeast branch should have been on the check, not her name, So it is a clear case of bribery. We are not saying that the guy paid bribes to receive a contract, but it is indeed bribery as long as you receive that money in your capacity. And our anti-corruption legislation, it should have been invoked. And as Caswell said, the Prime Minister should have stepped forward and said, well, you know what, I love you and everything, but you broke the law and I got to remove you from the position. But that's not the case here. But I don't want people to say that she's getting off on a technicality. She's not getting off. The fact that the integrity legislation is not proclaimed is fine. But we had anti-corruption legislation in place before, right? So that legislation should be used to measure this act. And it is clear you cannot be receiving any money from no company that you give contracts to. The Don Vallinis did the same thing, and the courts of America ruled what they had to rule on it. I mean, that's repeating what Donville said. He said, but we all do it. All of us do it. All of us take money, right? But that is the reason why Barbados continues to be blacklisted and blackballed in the world, because all of these type of corrupt acts can happen and nothing happens, right? And that is why the European Union and the OECD and the Financial Action Task Force and all of these anti-corruption bodies around the world are clamping down on Caribbean politicians, because the system in itself is just corrupt. If you follow the legislation in place, due process is for the minister to be removed from the position, and we are clearly not seeing that. So again, it is up to the people and the opposition and the people of Barbados to push for the leader of government, which is the prime minister, to follow the law, follow the due process, and take the necessary action.
On that note, I want to say to people, come out on Saturday, January 13th at 10 a.m. This is not time to sit at home to wonder how many persons are going to be out there.
I made some notes as I was listening to that conversation. And I want to say this. The statement is made that she is used to having this kind of donation given before she came to Parliament. But the fact of the matter is, you are now in Parliament. You are now going to be held to a different level of accountability than before you were brought to Parliament. Now you are in public life, legally positioned in Parliament. So you are now accountable to the people of Barbados officially. I have to laugh at that when she talks that rubbish. Then you talk about people getting locked up. On the basis of her conversation that we just listened to, she ought to be at Dodds without any discussion on the basis of what she said. And she also made the comment that they are not waiting. And I made the note. She said, we are not waiting until we come to office. We already have established integrity legislation. We are already holding ourselves accountable to the people of Barbados. Well, if that is so, there's no need to wait for 5, 6, 8, 10 months for proclamations to be made. You have made yourself available for accountability to people with immediate effect. This is nothing to do with a proclamation, Marcia. This is nothing to do with legislation. This is to do with integrity. This is to do with credibility. This is to do with you honoring your word. And because in this level of office, you fail to honor your word. But we have a prime minister here now who knows that this Bradshaw, but when you breach the trust of the people, you no longer qualify to remain in office. And that is what has happened. She has breached the trust of the people by accepting a check in her name in excess of what is permitted. And the legislation, from my understanding, requires her to reveal it forthwith to the Minister of Finance. Did she do so? No. And on that basis alone, we should not even be having this discussion, Madam Prime Minister. You should have called for the immediate resignation because she has breached the trust of the people of this country. This is not a debatable matter. She talked about 2 different levels of justice. She is demonstrating to the people. The Prime Minister is currently demonstrating to the people the 2 different levels of justice. You have a young lady who is coming through the airport carrying drugs, the daughter of a member of parliament, who is currently incarcerated. But we have a minister, deputy prime minister, who is not incarcerated, who has breached the law. And because the law is not proclaimed, you haven't breached it. And she says this madness has to stop. And the people who are the loyal opposition are saying on Saturday, yes, this madness has to stop. This madness of demanding people to take a digital ID that the whole world is warning us against taking. And you are demanding it of your people at the end of this month. You are a prime minister who does not care for your people because you're not interested in what your people have to say. And on that basis alone, you should resign. If you cannot take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, is what my mother used to tell me. And let me close finally by saying, she said I just want to make sure I get it. People have to be locked up. Yes, I dealt with that. So the fact that she used to do this, and I looked at the article that Peter Wickham, that was posted in the newspaper with Peter Wickham speaking to the matter. And Peter is saying this is done all the time, in campaign, campaign, elections, and so forth. But you are to declare. I ran a campaign, Marcia, and I had to declare every single cent I received and every single cent that was spent. And if I had made it into Parliament, the demands on me would be different than it is tonight. And that is where we have a problem. What we are saying to all of these ministers in government and all of the parliamentarians is that by virtue of the fact that you are in Parliament, you are being held to a higher level of accountability than anyone else in this country.
People kill people in Barbados all the time. Your defense cannot be, well, the people kill people all the time and then get catch. That is not an excuse. Breaking the law, and because people break it consistently, that doesn't mean that you should break it too. As a minister, you should uphold it. And as a minister who got on the platform and talk about integrity, and this boy should get locked up, they should get locked up. Remember, she was jumping up and getting really animated and thing. I never saw her so animated before. But apparently, this group feels that the law does not apply to them. It is a type of arrogance that is not becoming. Because right now, this check was in the police hands.
Yeah.
The police must know what the law is. And the police must know. And even if they don't know now, somebody would have told them, because somebody would have sent the Marcy Week show to them. Because they're looking to lock up me and see if he says something wrong. So they want to, I can tell you, 10 lawyers pouring over this program to see where we slip up. God, they want to sue us. The police got their people. They know. You don't have to wait for a complaint from somebody. Because if you go, police go to the road and see a fellow lost a road dead, and nobody don't complain, they ain't gonna do nothing. No, you know that there's a breach of the law. You know there's a breach of the law because you got a check signed by a person on behalf of a company given to Cynthia Bradshaw. That has been against the law since 1929, and that law is still in force. So even though we do not have the one that we say, oh, it is not proclaimed, that one isn't proclaimed, doesn't help her, because she is still in breach of one that she can go to jail for 2 years. The one that isn't proclaimed says she could go for 6 months. So I'm saying that isn't proclaimed. You see, I tell you, these politicians don't read. First thing you must do as a politician is to learn your craft before you go there and pontificate. And that's what the Prime Minister does. She's a bluffer, and she goes up there and bluffs without knowing the facts. They don't read the law. They might say that they might honestly feel that you could do it because this act is not yet enforced. The Integrity of Public Life Bill is not yet enforced, that they can go and breach the law and get rich. I don't want to talk about myself all the time, but when that came before Parliament the first time, I said to them, it's not going to pass in any hurry. It's not going to come into force in any hurry, because these fellas not going to get rich. And it was told that it was imputing improper motives, the thing, But they had said that they're going to bring it within this act, which should have been in place within the first 100 days of Barbados Labour Party getting into power. Well, they had 5 years. But that was talk for the campaign. That was talk for the yard fouls. That was talk to give people the impression, oh, we serious about this business and all kind of stuff. They weren't serious. They never were serious. And up to now, if you had all this time to put this legislation in place, what are you waiting for? Santia said on the platform that they have their own thing ready. This is before the Dems were ousted in 2018?
2018.
This is the Dems before they were ousted. She said, we got our own thing ready. We're waiting. We can put it in place. We can show them make business, and if people should get locked up, they're going to get locked up. No, she is the person that should get locked up. Don't mind nigga, mind the actions. You cannot go out there, pretend to be also high and mighty, and then do exactly what you said is against the law. That act was put in place because the Barbados Labour Party, while outside of office, when they were in opposition, they claim to have recognized that there's corruption in Barbados, and it should be punished with imprisonment. You don't go and pass a law just because and put penalties in it just because you feel it passing something. You do it to remedy a breach, something that you see is wrong, and you want to punish that wrongdoing. So they recognize taking money from people is wrong, and they say, well, they should get locked up for at least 6 months, a maximum of 6 months, and then you're going to pay back up to 3 times more than the people give you. There are several other pieces of several other laws. The statute law is the Prevention of Corruption Act 1929. That is still enforced in Barbados, and it says that there at Section 7, if you get a chance to look at it, there is a presumption of corruption when you take them kind of things. So there is a presumption, I presuming, there's a presumption that Santi is corrupt. And she has not proven to the contrary. Now, again, I must say that the Director of Public Prosecutions must know about this. The Commissioner of Police must know about this. In fairness to the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Director of Public Prosecutions does not initiate an investigation. When the police investigate, they report to him or her, whoever the person is now, I don't even know who it is, report to them, and that person then decides that the police, nah, you ain't got no case, or this person won't prosecute it. So I am asking the police, beseeching them, do your duty. Don't neglect to do your duty, because you might have some affinity to the Barbados Labour Party. That is not your job. You must come in and be even-handed. If any of us on this thing, Kimar, Marcia, you, Freddie, had broken the law and they saw it, then I said, man, cut there, let me give you a thing. Mind you, everybody breaks the law sometimes, you know, but then people use their discretion. But not when it comes to something like this. We are trying to stamp out corruption. And the way to stamp out corruption is for the Deputy Prime Minister to receive a check and say, oh, other people do it too, we do it all the time. If you do it all the time, you were saying that people are doing it all the time, and that was wrong.
Correct.
You said it was wrong, and you put a law in place to punish it.
And
You put another law in place. You put another law in place to punish it. You thought it was so wrong that you had one and you already put another one. So, what example is she setting? The example that she should have set was, look, when you do the wrong thing, you take your licks. I don't take my clear clothes. I ain't closing it.
And neither am I.
Because there's a court of public opinion. That's the court I prosecute in. Because I'm a lawyer, so I can't prosecute in the magistrate's court or the high court. I can prosecute in this court here, and I'm prosecuting this one, the court of public opinion. I have not lied. I have not defamed anybody, because what I've said is the absolute truth. There was a burglary. The burglar went in and stole some things that were in her office. One of them was a check. Now, to show you how arrogant and so stupid these people are, you know, if some person came to my house and took something that I shouldn't have, why didn't I tell the police about it? Because I'll be telling the police, look, I steal this thing and somebody took it from me. That's essentially what happened here, you know. You're basically saying to the police, I committed a crime in receiving this check, but don't mind that, he shouldn't thief it. Now, when you have a situation that it shows the arrogance of these people, they show that they can break the law, and they know that nobody can touch me. I have pedigree. You remember she had pedigree during the St. George campaign. She said she got pedigree, so that pedigree says to us that I'm above the law. Nobody in Barbados should be above the law. Why is she so special that she can breach the law and then suffer no sanctions, nothing for it? So which is she, a Medo or a Persian? these particular laws don't apply to her. And for idiots walking around the place calling themselves political scientists and they should be educating people. They should be telling the people, look, this thing wrong. No, but other people do it too. It's happened all the time. If it happened all the time, it's wrong. Under the Act, the Prevention of Corruption Act, which is a 1929 Act, no politician in Barbados should tell me they may know of it because it was there too long. It was there before any of us were here. And it was put in place to discourage exactly what Santia has done. And the Act says at Section 7 that there is a presumption of corruption if you accept it. So the only way that presumption could be remedied one way or the other is a trial. So she should be tried. The director of public prosecutions should be the person because only he or her, whoever it is now, can institute proceedings for an offense under this act. So the police should be investigating and then refer the matter to the DPP for the DPP to make the determination that there is a case to answer. I, Caswell Franklin, I'm saying that this thing appears to be corruption to me. I believe it to be corruption. From my limited knowledge of the law, and it's very limited, Santia Bradshaw is corrupt. Now, if she is not, I have just defamed her. So what she should do now is to tomorrow morning get her lawyers working on me to put me in court. So at least we will get a trial. If not, hers mine. Because it does not merit high office in Barbados if she received this check. And the thing is, the Prime Minister, I don't think the Prime Minister was fully briefed because the Prime Minister, the check wasn't cash. So if she were in another place, she would say, case closed. If you go to the Sahada's Sun, December 30th, the back page, she said it was a charitable donation, and she acknowledged that it was going on for years. So she has been in a criminal situation for years. The problem is, thanks to the other criminal, Holford, who broke and entered, if he did not break and enter, nobody in Barbados would have known that she was accepting checks from people who do business with her ministry. And the thing is, it is supreme arrogance. These people have become too arrogant because they figure, well, I be in power, we got 36, we can do anything. It is arrogance. It is arrogance that caused her to accept a check. You don't accept a check for a bribe. You know, it is as simple as that. And this was a bribe. It was either a bribe for having given me a contract in the past or for one in the future. Because let me tell you something. I went through it after the company said that, you know, that they don't have any work ongoing. But the government don't pay you the same time. You know how many contractors the government say, oh, it takes them months to get paid? I'm saying that this could have been a situation where, oh, we finally get the check, so we're going to give you hers now. It could be that too. So that's why I'm saying that we need a trial. We need a trial, a criminal trial.
Yes.
And if you're going to have a minister subject to a criminal trial, then that minister should step down, even with the accusations. There is nothing that only thing the Prime Minister did was to show that both of us have some limited knowledge of the law. Because, you know, I went and checked my dictionary here just now to verify what I was thinking. There's something called mens rea. You have the guilty mind. That's what it means, a guilty mind. You have the mind to commit the crime. Because if you did something that could amount to a criminal act, but you didn't intend to do it, the law says that you don't have the guilty mind.
Mm-hmm.
She had the guilty mind to take that money. The mens rea was there. The guilty mind was there.
On the screen here, we see the march that is happening on Saturday. Yeah, on Saturday, this is on January 13th at 10 a.m. Massey Car Park by Kensington Oval is actually where we're going to be at 10 a.m. People, there are 744 of you watching at this moment. By the time tomorrow, there'll be thousands of you who have seen this live tonight. That's on tonight. And I'm saying to us that, listen, guys, we need to come out. Come out. This particular march, we had said that it was going to be for the ID. But I think that we're going to have some placards about this Santia situation because the prime minister said the case is closed. The prime minister can't say the case is closed when the people have an issue. The people are concerned. Bring lawyers. Let the lawyers discuss it, and then we will be satisfied. Let's hear a legal opinion on it, not from the prime minister, not a political opinion. We want a legal opinion, and I think I agree with Mr. Franklin that that should be included on Saturday. Let me hear from the people if they believe that we should include this issue about the check on Saturday in this march. Let me hear, because we're going to march about January 31st. And we're saying that we do not want the IDs to be mandatory. We want that we can make a choice. We want to be able to make a choice. No, we don't want to be hooked up to a system. Okay? Yeah? So yes, as someone is saying that the march is important. Dewdrop, thank you. You're saying the march is important. The question is, will you guys come out? That's number one. And then the second is, should we include this issue of the check in the march? Somebody says absolutely to include it. Hurricane says include it. Just include the check on Saturday. Dewdrop is saying the march is important. Let me hear. Joseph Cadogan saying include it. Now the question is that we're going to include it. Are you going to come out and hold a placard? Because we will have placards that will talk about the check. Will you come out and hold one? Are you that convicted about it that you will do it? That's the thing. Somebody said march for all causes, including the check. But we have the march that is coming up on Saturday at 10 a.m., Mr. Franklin. And this is another situation that we're saying to Barbadians, don't stay home and say, let me see how many persons are going to be there. Right? We are talking here about the digital ID. I got another message from another opposition member, and it says digital ID coming this year. This is from the Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Davidson Ishmael. Like, we're surprised. No, we're not surprised. We're not surprised. The anticipated introduction of Barbados' digital ID will be rolled out this year, says Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, David Ishmael. Additionally, he said all systems were a go for January 31st, which is the deadline when the old ID cards would no longer be valid and only the new Trident ID cards would be recognized. That right there, just for that, you need to hit the roads in your numbers, Barbados. Just for that piece there, because your prime minister, my prime minister said that what? It was not mandatory. We have it on record. They're saying that the old ID would not be recognized. Only the new Trident IDs would be recognized, and they told us it was not mandatory. That is why we are going to be on the streets on Saturday. We need to register this. You don't take this like this.
How can you trust people who lie to you at every turn? When you have a liar, people tell you can trust a thief, but never a liar. You accept a thief more before you accept a liar because you never know what they're going to tell you. Fellow might want to thief your purse, but the fellow who comes and lie to you but steal anything, your reputation, anything at all. You have to be careful with people who lie and lie consistently. I keep telling people all the time this government's default position is to lie first. And then when they realize, oh, there's no need to lie about this, they're going to tell the truth or some of it. Don't even tell all. These people have said that this Trident ID was not mandatory. And that was in a response when the Jamaican courts had ruled that it was unconstitutional. So they say, no, it is not unconstitutional because it is a mandatory ID. They lied to the people of this country and they lied. Look, look at this ID. You really feel that this was one of our innovations that we came up with this? No, indeed not. We are being tested even with something as simple as an ID card. They are using this to test their systems. They have it up and ready. I do not trust Barbados' technological abilities to keep my information private because ever so often you hear that there was a hack at, but almost every government department that got a computer got hacked. I do not know of any government department that was not hacked.
Mhm.
Probably not, well, at least not sanitation. I don't think they hacked them, but all the rest they got hacked. So why are you trying to force this on us without even the necessary safeguards? Because you have a deadline imposed outside of Barbados when the people travel and they get their instructions to come back and put them on us. And they brought it in a situation where they didn't tell anybody they were bringing this legislation. This legislation will make you less of a citizen in Barbados than you are now. You can't vote if you don't get registered in this thing. There's too many things going wrong, and there's too many secrets that this government is keeping from us. They are working for us. We are not asking them for scotch in Barbados. We have our place here. We are the people of this country. We own this place, and we can't. So everybody can't do their own thing. So we put a government in place to run the affairs for us. And they are coming back every time and lying to us. They come back tricking us. They come back and not responding to us. They are taking the international community, the dictates from international communities, on simple things that don't even matter. Shouldn't matter. But why they matter to us? Because people began some sort of kickback. And now we see with these 7,000 fights, I wonder how many 7,000 fights we get to implement all these things on Barbados. Are we getting the loans so easily because we have volunteered to be guinea pigs? Because these international loans are never given so easily and not so fast. Something is wrong here. I
Yeah,
want to know
definitely.
what it is.
Definitely, and it's time. It is really time that we stand up, and this is why on Saturday, guys, don't say that I don't march and I don't know anything about marching, and I never, the sun is gonna be hot. It's not too hot now. It's January. Yeah. The numbers matter. The numbers matter. Get out on Saturday. Saturday at 10 o'clock. Be outside there with us. Come on out. Those of you who normally give towards the marches, please, know that all of these they have to be paid for. So we're asking again if any donations that you can bring it along on the march when you get there, as well as those from overseas who would normally send. We are willing to accept all donations so that it doesn't have to come from Mr. Franklin alone. Please, we're asking for your assistance. Someone said to me, well, all you guys are going to do is march, and I said to him, no, it's a combination of things. So we might march, but what are you doing? Right? Everybody, there is something that Kimar does a lot of research, and he brings that to us. What is it that I am doing? Over 500 and almost 60 of us, 560 or 556, it's going up and down. We are all listening. whether we're in Barbados, as I started off by saying the diaspora, they're very strong, or we're outside of Barbados. The point is this, that this is our beloved country, and we have to, as citizens, have to make a decision. It's a decision, you know. There are 280,000 of us approximately, and we have to make a decision about where we are going. This is 2024. What is going to happen to us? What is it that we want? And the simple thing is to come out in your numbers. Numbers matter. Numbers matter to politicians. It matters. Saturday we are on the road about the ID, not about ourselves, but about the ID, right? About this Trident ID and this pinning of this ID. And not just that, the principle that we were told something and then they went and changed what they told us. They first told us that the ID was not mandatory, remember? Then the same government went and said you didn't have to pin it. And now they're saying as of January 31st that the other one is obsolete. Is what it's saying. The news came out today. Tonight, I was sent it by someone. So even if you put on your clothes because of those lies, you are saying to our broken promises. Some of them is promises broken, and some of them is just outright lies, untruths, whatever you want to call it. So I'm saying to people, come out on Saturday. Don't sit down. Don't sit down and say, let me see what they are going to do. For the love of country, come out on Saturday.
Yes, I agree with you, Marcia, that we should come out on Saturday about the ID. But I also want to come out about the bad behaviors of taking $7,500 and wanting to justify it. There's no justification for it. I also want to talk about that. I also want to march about that. So I want to combine the two. Because let me tell you something. If that had happened when Fandel was in power, Motley would have been out there with walking up and down the street, keeping bare noise. We know it. And it is acknowledged. This is not a rumor. And for something like this to happen in Barbados, there should be a head should be rolling coming down the hill. This is not something that should just go away. And we should be standing telling people, no, that you have to respect us. You cannot behave in such a manner and expect it will be okay. So we should be marching about that too. I want to march about that too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get a poster done about that when they marching, and that's our God willing. Because it is not good enough that we sit down, see our politicians behave in a particular manner, and what is good sauce for the goose should be sauce for the gander. When we had a situation where Donville was accused of taking money from ICB, it was a big thing in Barbados. Now, this now is taking money from a person that the Ministry of Public Works and whatever else, and water resources, they do business with him. They should be paying him, not the other way around. So something smells like an old boot.
Good afternoon, people. This is Marcia Weeks of the Marcia Weeks Show. And listen, who is this? Is this a duck? Is this a duck? Well, at the top of this placard it says, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, well, you tell me, is it a duck? Well, these are some, I see people already joining. These are some of the placards that are being worked on here, right here at Unity Workers Union. Yeah, here's another one that I'm going to show you, and it's coming up. All right, so this is another one here. Lord, hear my brawling laugh. It says, we in this together. So look at the politicians. Highest salaries, highest pensions, Earliest retirement, free travel. So that's the politicians, right? And then look over here, Bajans, skin and bones, taxes galore, 7.5 VAT, sewage tax, fuel tax, highest cost of living, yeah? That's us there. That's us there, right? So listen, we have so many, right? Here's another one. This is another one saying corruption. Let me put it there. It's not on the stick yet, you know, because they're working hard. They're going to put them on the stick. Corruption ain't only exists in Barbados. It's rampant. Listen, so this is where we're making all of these placards. Another placard here that says how many more? How many more checks? Yes? Let me see if I can get this held properly so that you can listen. This lady is the center of attention. Trust me. Right? So it says, how many more checks did Santia get? Only the Lord knows. Oh God, I didn't even see what was there. These are killing me. Here's the next one here. Santia ain't above board. Santia above the law. Ah, this is a deep one. Santia ain't above board. Santia above the law. Yes, man. So this is what is happening. This is a full house here. This other one says checks and no balances. Overlook, not oversight. Integrity bill is a joke. Checks and no balances, right? They're supposed to have checks and balances. Overlook, not oversight. Integrity bill is a joke. And let me tell you, the people who are working in here, they are doing a fantastic job. And you know, we are going to be talking about when we do we have another one here. Whoops. We have another one here coming up. It says, everything will change. Who controls your data controls you. Because we are also marching against this mandatory. You know, they told us lies, pure lies. They told us that it was mandatory. Then they tell us that it's not mandatory, right? So now look at this one that said no mandatory digital ID, no access to personal info, no government overreach. Yes? So this is serious business, folks, serious business. And this is going to all happen on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we are down at Massey Car Park, okay? Massey Car Park, right there at Kensington Mall. That's where we're going to be, and invite somebody. Bring them out. Come on, man. Let's come out together. Oh, Lord. The accused. Hey, you read it yourself. I tell you. Listen, come out. You think these people easy? You think they're easy? Listen, this is a lot going on here. You hear that staple machine gun going over there? And all of these placards, right? This one here again, man, this is going to be. Look at Barbados. Look at Bajans. This is Bajans, you know. Yeah? Look over skin and bones. And look over here, this nice fluffy lady. This is the politicians, nice, big and fluffy. That is the politicians, yeah? And this is all of we're working to get them all on these sticks here. That's going to happen. And we will have one for you. This is how we normally do it. When we come down the road, when you get down the road, we have them for you. And, you know, we have everything ready. And so that when you come down, you know, you don't have to prepare anything. You bring the placard from, you just get dressed and we walk with the placard. And there are two wonderful persons here. One in particular, I can't call everybody's name, but she's been doing this ever since we started. 7 marches and she's made placards. And she has a sidekick here with her now as well. Right, but you can come down to Unity Workers Union. This is on 6th Avenue, right, building number 5, Unity Workers Union, 6th Avenue, Belleville. 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the evening. And, you know, just walk with something, a snack and something. because we're here trying to get these placards made, okay? Saturday, the big thing is this, listen. We need to have numbers on the street on Saturday. We need numbers out there. It's not enough to just, we like to sit and post, right? We like to post. That's easy to do. It's easy to do, but to come out and make a statement, right, Barbadians? I know you will do it. We got to get out there, right? And you see, they're here working, right? This is right now, you see, it's a workshop, right? It's a workshop that is happening here. Wait, there was another one here, man. There was another one here that we didn't get to show, but look at this one.
This is Caswell's donation to Sati.
So this is Caswell Franklin. This is Caswell Franklin making a donation to Sanchia Bradshaw for $7,500. Listen, tell me if these people are crazy.
Signed by Caswell as well.
And it is signed by Caswell. You see that? Signed by Caswell. So this is a check. This is a check. You need to call the lawyers. This one is from Caswell Franklin to Sanchia Bradshaw, $7,500. So that's another placard that you will be able to carry. All right, folks. We are laughing about it. But it's really not funny. It's funny because as Caribbean people, we try to make a joke out of things. But it's really not that funny because when you just think about the fact, right, that it is corruption and what we are going through as a country, and that's why we're coming out and we're making a statement. And that statement is being made on Saturday at 10 o'clock. Saturday, 10 o'clock, Massacre Park. Put on your nice clean clothes, bathe your nice clean self, and put on your pretty clothes and come down, right? Comfortable shoes, water. As a matter of fact, we always have water for you, right? We know we always have water, yeah? So you come down. Tonight, we're going to be on the Marcy Week show tonight. We're going to gather again, people. We are growing. And we're coming together. We're going to speak. We have a family meeting tonight. This is all about Barbados, and we are making a stand. This is not a political stance. This is a stance for Barbados. Can somebody stand up for Barbados for once? You know what? Let them know we don't line up behind colors anymore. We passed that, right? We passed lining up behind colors. All right? So I'm going to ask you, if you're listening to this, to share this live, okay? And that's the man himself. Can I show you? That's the man himself. Look who is there. Look who I caught. Yeah, look at him all dressed up, and he's on his way out. You know that he's a busy man. Mr. Franklin, you going to be there Saturday?
Oh, I will intend to be there,
Yeah? Where's his check? Pass his check. You got to have his check.
I told him I'm giving Sandy a check. I won't be left out.
Come this way so the people can see properly.
I won't be left out. I'm giving a check as well.
You're giving...
And I won't let the body outdo me, so I'm giving the same amount.
Listen, I am telling you, this man is something else. Mr. Franklin, oh Lord, listen, you better, you're going to have to do more than one of these placards, One of these can't work. Everybody going to want their name on it, so they give it Santi a check. So this is the people dying. Listen, you have to come out. So invite the people out, Mr. Franklin.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't want to come. They will be doing something exactly.
Yes.
They have to let the politicians know that while we elect them, we didn't elect them king. And they're still answerable to us. If we don't come out, and the politicians realize that, we're just a lot of hot air, they will continue abusing the people of this country. So we have to stop them. We have to say, thus far and no further.
Yes.
And they're going to go, and far from no further, they're going to start going back. And some of the nonsense they did.
Yes. Well, I know you're rushing out, and we're going to see you tonight. Yeah. Monica, insert power to all those who stand up for what is right, right? Well, Monica, we would love to see you down there on Saturday, okay? All right. God bless. God bless you, Mr. Franklin. So you heard it from the general himself. And listen, that's one general that's not going to tell you that that to turn up for war, and he's not there, okay? So General is going to be there on Saturday, and I asked you to share up this live and, let the place, send it out to people and encourage somebody. Come on, let's make sure we have the numbers, right? The politicians, they respond to numbers. That's what they respond to, numbers. Yeah? And we need to be able to make a stand. Okay, we are making a stand. I don't care how many persons say the ID. It don't matter. We are standing up and saying, no, we know it's not right. And that is why they can't even do it in America. Right? In the US, the great USA don't even have mandatory ID. UK don't have mandatory ID. So why little Barbados? What are you trying to do? Guinea pig again? They turned us in guinea pigs when they gave us the thing in our arms. Right? The first set of those things in the arms from India was the first country was Barbados. Huh? No. What are they trying to do? No. It's not happening. Right? They need to make sure that this card is not mandatory. Give us a choice to pin and to decide what we want to do. We've got to use our passport, driver's license. Okay? That's what we want. All right? So I hope to see you. Right? I hope to see you. And let me just give you another little, so you see what is happening. This is all of the placards are being done. So you see, it's all coming together. It's coming together. They're here working. And they are working. Lots of working that is going up here. Oh Lord, the Paro PM said it all. We got Baron all she wants. Oh my, and she's smiling so sweetly. I tell you, folks, listen, these two here, boy, corrupt. What good for the gander should be good for the goose. For this goose. Sorry. Lord help me. Listen, you're getting this live here. This is live. So my responses, I'm just reading it as I go along. All right. So this is what is happening. One thief get locked up and the other thief walk free. That is justice. Oh Lord. Thank God for that thief, I tell you. Thank God for that thief. Well, come down, folks. Come down on Saturday. Make sure that you are down on Saturday. Saturday, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Saturday, all right? God bless you. Love you all. See you. Bye-bye.
Let we march. Barbados!
Time for people get up and make a organize.
Time to wake
Now
up.
them come from country and town. Kick down Jericho wall.
Opposition fall in line.
Politicians run and ball. One by one, brick by brick, they go crumble and fall. At the voice of the Almighty, and the trumpet call. Lies and corruption at this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Lies and corruption at this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. What you want? Vaccine scam, can't left in memory. Trident ID won't be mandatory. So you pin it, change them up on the elderly. Make me fi vote them, treat you like enemy.